want to talk about a couple things. We did that Larry Hoover video the other day. All kinds of comments, people emailing me. We'll talk about, surviving prison, what it's like when you walk out here. What is it like being in the ADX, locked in a cell? We'll talk about a bunch of that stuff. We're going to do a little Saturday morning live. Don't usually do these on Saturday mornings, but it's been a minute. And, they got that big Buffalo Bills game today, August 24th. Special day today. But anyway, we'll get some people to come in here, hopefully, and we'll talk a little bit about this, right? We'll see. We'll get some input from people, and we'll talk about, prison, ADX, what life's like, living that life. What's going to happen with Larry Hoover? Some of the comments that people made, like, oh, man, he wasn't involved in that gang. And, everything in that video was pretty much taken from court records, right? Not saying that, the court records and the police records are always accurate because they tell a lot of lies. But there's actually some stuff where, he did his PSI and he admitted to being in other gangs. Some people have threatened me, man, don't talk about the chief, man. And I'm like, hey, listen, man, I'm just telling you what it is. But anyway, maybe we can get some people in here on a live this morning, man. I know it's early, man. I don't know if people are awake, what people are doing. But anyway, if you're in here, man, hit that like button. Let me know that you're here, man. Leave a comment. Barn Dog, good morning, brother. I know it's been a minute since I've been in here, but it is what it is, man. Anyway, I don't know, man. Anybody got any questions today? We'll do some, questions and answers. Greg, glad to have you in here. Any questions about Larry Hoover? A lot of people know who Larry is, man. He was the chief. He was the boss. Some people are mad because why'd you put him as king of Chicago? Or, why not Fort and all? Man, listen, man. This guy had a lot of influence. It's pretty obvious, right? It's obvious from his case. It's obvious from who he is. It's obvious from, the court papers, the filings, the people that followed him. This dude was a leader, right? Maybe not always the best leader, but he was definitely a leader. I'm actually doing some stuff right now for someone else that was closely connected to him that's also got 30 years in, right? And maybe we'll talk about that case later on down the road. I don't know. We're going to see what happens with it. But I think I'm probably going to be able to help this brother get out of prison, right? We also have, some of the mafia updates. I know some of you guys know who Tommy Reynolds is. We still got his motion pending. I'm expecting an answer in that soon. But anyway, let's talk a little bit about Larry Hoover. That's what's on the thumbnail. That's what we're going to talk about. What do you guys think? Leave a question. I'm watching this on my screen too. How many people think Larry Hoover's getting out of prison and going back to Chicago? Do you think he's going to get out and go to Chicago? I mean, I talked a little bit about this in the video, and people are commenting because they probably didn't watch the video all the way through or whatever. I believe Larry Hoover's definitely getting out of the ADX. There ain't a question in my mind. I hate to say it like that because I don't want to be wrong, right? But sometimes we're wrong, and I might be wrong on this. But Larry Hoover's been in that ADX a long time. His lawyers pretty much hammer that stuff away inside that motion. Like, look, man, look at how this man's living. He's been here all these years. I mean, look, man, this guy's he spent his whole life in a cell, right? And then there's other people that have chimed in like, oh, that dude should die in prison. That dude should never get out. How many people, let's ask that question first, right? We're doing little questions today, Saturday morning. How many people think Larry Hoover should get out of prison? And how many people think that he shouldn't? If you think he should get out, just say, I think he should get out. I'm going to read your comments. If you got a comment about why he shouldn't, Jerome Lyle says, I hope he goes free. Look, man, we live in that's what we're going to talk about, Barn Dog. We're going to talk about that state stuff, right? So what I was saying is this, and I'll answer some of the questions, right? But yeah, I believe that Larry Hoover's going to get out of the ADX, and I think they're going to send him over to the state system. What's it going to be like for him over there? Can he get parole? Is there some way he can get, a pardon over there or clemency through the governor? I mean, those are a lot of the questions, right? We might also talk about, Young Thug today, too. I want to talk a little bit about Young Thug this morning, about that new DA that's running, right? And talking about dropping that case. But this is what I think. I think that Larry Hoover's probably going to win his compassionate release motion. Why? Where's this compassionate release? Because people have wrote me like, hey, man, you're talking all this compassionate release bullshit. Like and I don't know how to do it yet because I don't really have time to figure it all out. But some people have sent me emails talking about, compassionate release. That man's got to be sick. The chief ain't getting out. The old man ain't getting out. If he ain't sick, is he sick? Why are you in his business? And if I knew how to post that email, I would. So, the compassionate release thing, people think compassionate release, you got to be sick to get out of prison. That ain't what it is. I mean, they had compassionate release before in the federal prison system pretty much would never let people out. Brian's Fire, I appreciate you. The BOP would pretty much let you die. I got a guy right now that I just got out the other day where I'd like to bring him on and interview him. They were just going to let him die. He was going to die in prison. I just got him out. I did his motion, and within 45 days, he's out of prison. He probably don't have much time left to live, unfortunately for him. But the BOP was never letting people out, right? So Congress came in and said, look, man, We care about people. I don't really think that they necessarily cared about people. They knew the federal prison system's overcrowded. Prison system's overcrowded. We got to start letting people out of prison, right? We don't have enough staff. That's the other thing, man. People ain't going to hit that like button. 115 people in the house. It's Saturday morning. Hit that like button. Chad's my go-to for legal advice. Can you tell if he had for any tickets? I went over his motion. I don't think he's had any tickets, and he's got a bunch of rehabilitation. So really, this is what the compassionate release comes down to. How the fuck is Larry Hoover getting out of prison, right? How's he getting out of the ADX? How's he getting out of the Federal Bureau of Prisons? He's got to show there's extraordinary, compelling reasons, right? And, the Sentencing Commission came back. They changed the law. They said, hey, look, you got to show that there's a change in law, that something changed. And, there's other factors that you can factor in, rehabilitation. But it can't be rehabilitation alone. That's how the government always argues, right? I think this cat's got I think he's got a lot of issues. I think that the judge is going to say that there's extraordinary and compelling reasons here. And his lawyer made arguments about him being in the ADX for how long he's been secluded. I think his rehabilitation. I think the fact that he's an old man. I think that they're going to let him go. I think they're going to say, you know what? We're done with Larry Hoover. We're going to let Larry Hoover out. I'm just reading some of the comments too, right? I know some people get pissed. He's an old man, man. He's spent 50 years of his life in prison. Like, this is your life, man. This is all he knows. This has been Larry Hoover's whole life. Like, damn, bro, look around. That shit hurts people, man. Mentally, emotionally. We might talk about that today. How many people in here are just destroyed from being in prison, right? But I do believe that Larry gets out of, I believe that the judge decides, you know what? The Sentencing Commission overruled this case called United States versus Thacker, where Thacker, they're pretty much saying, Judge, you don't have the power to, use extraordinary and compelling reasons to let a cat out of jail. Like, the change in law don't matter. None of this stuff matters. So, you know what? You can't do it, pretty much, right? Only people that can let people out is the BOP. Sentencing Commission dubbed all of that shit. The government's still making that argument to keep people in prison, which is crazy because you might be in Florida and have a 924C stacking case, and you could be in New York and have one, right? You can get out in New York, but you can't get out in Florida because, they're saying, hey, look, we didn't have the power to do this. Or, Texas, there's all kinds. Well, Texas just had a really big case where United States versus Dean, where they said, look, let me just give you guys an example, right? So I'm going to give you a legal example. And I've talked about this before, 924C stacking, right? Disproportionately affects, let's just call it what it is. Disproportionately affects African Americans, right? You get 5 for the first gun, 25 for the second, 25 for the next one, 25 for the next one. Next thing you know, you got 500 years, you ain't never getting out of prison. You robbed a couple Domino's pizzas or Pizza Huts, right? Yeah, you shouldn't be out robbing Domino's, shouldn't be out robbing Pizza Hut. But check this shit out. You're going to give me 300 years, I'm 19 years old. So they came back and said, look, that's wrong. It should only be 5 years for the first gun, 5 years for the second, right? So now they changed that. That's an extraordinary and compelling reason. They changed the law, but didn't make it retroactive in conjunction with what? Your rehabilitation. So my belief is that Larry gets out and he goes over to the state. Sticky me, I did 600 years, bro. Yeah, me too. It felt like 700. But he goes over to the state. He wants to get out of the feds. He wants to get out of that ADX. But what are they going to do to him in the state? He's gonna get out of the ADX. But what do they do to him in the state? Do they got a special place over there in the state? Do they go lock him in a cell? 144 people in the house. It don't hurt you to hit the like button one time. Why they put Larry in ADX but didn't put AB there? They pick and choose, man. These are nasty people. These are unprofessional, nasty people, if you want the truth. So many of these people are nasty, unprofessional. They have no problem hurting people. Cold-hearted people, man. Cold-hearted people. And see what they're talking. Why they put Larry in ADX but didn't put the AB there? Your clothes don't match your age, bro. Well, what do you want me to put on some Lululemons and comb my hair to the side? I'm at the house, bro. I'm at the house. You ain't never seen me dressed up, huh? Maybe I'll start doing some interviews dressed up, bro, so that my clothing matches my age, right? What did they say? Like, hey, you got to be, a certain age to wear a baseball hat, man, or a Buffalo Bills hat, right? Or an Under Armour shirt. You think your boy ain't got no nice shirts in there? You guys want me to take you for a tour around my house? No, I can't. I'm not doing that today. I got to clean this joker up. I'm blessed. I did 3 years in the feds in '86, never went back. That's what's up, man. Let Larry out. Some people feel like, yo, man, Larry wreaked havoc, man. Larry wreaked havoc on Chicago. He sent all these kids down the wrong path. These kids are out here killing each other. He should never get out. Larry's a piece of... I've heard it all, man. Other people are like, yo, man, Larry should get out, man. Larry's been in there all that time, right? As a society, we want violence. We want anger. We want punishment, right? Lock him up. Throw away the key. Don't ever let Larry out of prison. Don't ever let Larry out of prison because he was involved in this and he was involved in that. But man, don't we live in a compassionate society, man? Man's been in prison all them years. You don't think he deserves a chance? The real question is, okay, look, you can't never bring back the people that were killed, right? You can't never bring those folks back. I respect that. I understand that. Can't never bring them back. But this is the issue, right? Sometimes you don't really know what it's like to do 50 years. You don't know what it's like to be locked in your bathroom for the first year, and then 2 years, and then 5 years, and then 10 years, and then 15 years, and then 20 years. You don't know what it's like, man. I mean, what kind of punishment is that? Yeah, you can't bring the person back that was murdered, or all the people, Look, some people get pissed off, man. Ugly Mugs, man, thank you for the $2 donation. We appreciate you on a Saturday morning. You had to pull your wallet out, man. Thank you, brother. Because we know you're laying in bed right now. I'm just joking, but thank you. I appreciate you. But we live in a society that talks about having compassion and empathy for people, right? Yeah, the cap was kind of weird. Why? I can't wear a baseball hat. Come on, big dog. I'm going to the Bills game today, man. Where is Anthony Center and Joe Testa? Maybe I should do a video on them, right? I probably should. But you got all these people out here with this mob content. I'm gonna start putting some. Maybe put the cap backwards. Huh? I look like I'm a chef, right? Don't I look like a chef with a hat like that? It don't matter, man. I could wear a hat, man. Why not? Any Troy Kell updates? Not right now, man. That cap is sick. Go Lions. We don't like the Lions over here. We're Bills fans, but the Lions did look good last year, right? Different division. Maybe we'll see you guys this year, man, at the Super Bowl. But anyway, yeah, man, it's about compassion, right? It's about, man, sometimes, man, people deserve a second chance. It's also about, if you let Larry Hoover out of prison, is he a threat to public safety? That's another factor. 3553A says, hey, look, you got to make sure that this cat, the punishment's sufficient but not greater than necessary to achieve the goals of sentencing. You let Larry Hoover out right now, what's he going to do? What is he going to do, man? He goes to court. He's leaving the ADX in September. He's going to court in person. The judge is like, yo, I want this cat here. And let me tell you guys something, man. A lot of times when you file a compassionate release motion, the judge does not request a hearing. I had 2 hearings in my case, and I'll never forget this, right? The judge in my case, he pushes his glasses down, right? Judge Larimer, Rochester, New York, man. Pushes his glasses down. He says, tell me why I should let you out of prison. And in that moment, and later I would speak to my judge, after I get out, a couple of years on probation, parole, he calls me down there, wants me to come down with my wife and my kids. And we talk. And I told him, man, at first I couldn't talk. So when he pushes his glasses down, he says, I want you to tell me why I should let you out of prison. This is why we had the hearing. He wanted to hear from me. And at first I was like, and I'm the guy, Kasim McRae, I appreciate you, brother. Thank you. At first I'm like I had this all planned out, right? Spent 17 and a half years of my life in prison. Here's my big day. I'm on stage, and this man's asking me, the man that has the power in his hands to let me out of prison, to give me a second chance. And I have to respond, and at first I can't. I'm like, huh. And then I start to talk, and I tell him, I said, this is why I deserve a second chance. I turn my life around. And at one time, my judge had said that I was a street punk, and I said, I'm not a street punk no more. I'm no longer that person. I appreciate my freedom. And I'm going to keep it real with you guys, man. I meant that in the moment. I appreciated my freedom, man. I appreciated a chance to get out of prison and be the things that I thought I wanted to be, a father, a husband, right? After damn near 18 years in prison, man, I'm like, the moment's finally here. I used to tell dudes in prison, yo, there's not a day that goes by that I'm not going to do something to get out of prison. And Cedric Dean taught me that, right? You guys seen this brother on here from Charlotte. Had him on here a couple times. Became my best friend in prison, right? In this racially segregated prison system. African-American. This brother does a lot of stuff, a lot of writing books, teaching programs. He's the dude that put me on the right path, right? And I thought back to all the times I would walk the yard with him, man. And be like, damn, bro, you think they're ever going to let me out? And now this was my moment and I couldn't talk. But when I started to talk, I told the judge, man, I appreciate my freedom. I'll never disappoint you. I'll never let you down. I know that you heard plenty of people come before you and say, hey, look, man, I changed my life. Please give me mercy. I said, you're a very smart man. You've heard the 1,000 stories, right? But I pray that you can see the sincerity in me, that I worked hard for my freedom, that I didn't get it easy. I did these programs. I wrote rehabilitative programs. I wrote the reentry program in Raybrook. I've done law work. Like they congratulated me on the law work that I've done. And I said, I just want to be normal, man. And he gave me a chance. He gave me a chance. Some people think I don't deserve a chance. Why? Because I sold drugs in the community. Because I destroyed the community, right? I contributed to, the prostitutes out there on the corner that we've interviewed, getting high, right? Selling themselves to get high, or the cats out there, that are selling your kids' Christmas. Like, I contributed to all that bullshit, man. I was part of that stuff. That's why, and I'm gonna give you an update. You know, the little boy Xavier, we got his bed for his birthday the other day, right? I'll put a picture up, man. But we got, he ended up getting his bed. That's why I go back to the community and I do the shit that I do. A lot of shit you guys don't see. But I do that because I care, man. I do that because I was that kid, man, with dirty clothes on and holes in my shoes that other kids were, picking on at times, right? My sister had issues when we were kids, man. Man, my sister always, she had things with her hair. And yeah, I don't really want to embarrass my sister, but when we were kids, man, we grew up poor. And I see them kids now and I think about myself like, damn, man, I was that kid, right? It was my, I don't know, man. That's why I go back and I do the shit that I do. But, someone told me yesterday, it was my attorney. I reached out to my attorney yesterday, right? She was a very close friend, Jill Harrington. If you need an attorney, a federal attorney in New Jersey, Jillian Harrington, New York, Jersey. And she's like, you don't really get it, do you? She's like, you didn't just get out of prison. Like, you survived prison. We can use prison as an excuse why we struggle when we get out here, or why we can't do this right, or why we can't do that right. It can't be an excuse, but you know what? It's a factor, man. Some people don't realize that shit's a factor, man. It's a fact. Like, I had Gordon, man. I wish he would reach out to me, hit me up like, yo, bro, everything's going bad with me and my girl, man. I'm just bugging out. I get angry easy. And you know what, man? I started to lose my appreciation of what I did have. I lost appreciation for my freedom, lost appreciation for being able to walk around and see green grass, lost my appreciation for the neighborhood that I was living in, where people you walk by and they wave to you, or, being able to walk outside with my wife and my kids in the stroller and walk them around the neighborhood. Like, lost appreciation for that shit, man. And when you lose appreciation for it, you end up losing it, right? I guess you don't really know what you lost until you lose it, man. And you know what? I should have been like a cat that was like, yo, I'm firm in that, right? I know what it was like to lose my freedom. So anything else that I ever got in life, I should have appreciated it. But I lost it. I fucked it up. I mean, that's what it is, man. I lost it. And you know what? There's so many people out here, man. You did, it's not like you did 2 or 3 years and you got out of jail, man. You come out here and you tell jail stories, you tell prison stories. 17 and a half years of my life, 17 years, 4 months, 21 days. You think that shit didn't destroy me mentally, emotionally? It did, man. Chris Shea, thank you, brother. Should be giving back to the communities. I try to, man. Thank you, brother. Appreciate you. Now, sometimes at night, man, the last few nights, I've just been driving around aimlessly, man. I've been trying to put some videos together, man. I can't think straight right now. But I got to get it together, man. Because if I don't get it together, I'm just going to destroy myself, right? Sometimes you want to be the change that you seek to see in others, and you're on that path, and you're doing it, and you're helping everybody else, and you're not really helping your family. You're not really helping yourself. Prison will do that to you, man. Prison will do that to you, man. Catrice, good morning. Larry Hoover from your city. Larry Hoover, he's on the thumbnail. What do you think the ADX has done to Larry Hoover? You guys seen John Powers, right? We brought John Powers on here. Bit his fingers off, bit his ear. Should we do a new interview with John? I think we should. I think I should reach out to John Powers and do a new interview with him now that he's been out a long time. Because the dude's got a hell of a story, right? How many people bite their fingers off or cut their earlobes off or tattoo their whole body with an ink pen and a razor blade that you shave with, right? Them nasty-ass Bic razors that they give you in federal prison, the generic ones. You're cutting your face. And what do you think ADX did to him, man? What did the ADX do to this dude, man? It destroyed him mentally, emotionally. And who cares, right? These people don't give a fuck, man. They look at you like they're miserable in their lives. The stuff that I'm talking about, how you lose appreciation. Man, I don't want to disrespect anybody or anybody be like, damn. But I used to be like, damn, man, these old-ass white dudes, man, they're all miserable, right? And them old-ass white dudes were how old I am now. I'm like, why are these dudes so miserable, man, about life, man? You just wake up and you're mad at the world? And you know what, man? I started to feel like I became that old, white, miserable dude, man. The things that I hated that shit in prison. You want to come search people's cells. You're just nasty, bro. You just hate your life, homie. You're in here destroying people's cells. Why? You hate your life, man. 18 years of my life in prison, I've seen so many nasty people, man. Cops, and I don't like, and I used to, look, I had 40 years. I hated authority. I didn't like for anyone to tell me what to do. I'm like, man, you don't tell me what to do. I hated that shit. Hated the police, right? Hated that they could tell me what to do. Yo, get in your cell. They stupid, get in your cell. Nah, fuck you, man. I used to tell some of the cops, man, men respect men, man. I got nothing to lose. Talk to me with respect, bro. Before I'm a convict or an inmate or a prisoner or any of that shit you're talking about, I'm a man. So respect me. Respect me. They, most of them be like, damn, bro. I got 40 years, man. I ain't got nothing to lose. You know what I was telling you when I told you that? You know what I was telling you. Like, yo, man, I ain't done nothing wrong to you, man. So stop fucking with me, man. Stop messing with these people, man. Leave these people alone. Leave us alone. We're not here doing nothing to you. I mean, I can understand you can't, you can't just live in a lawless land, right? I say that all the time, man. I'm not some bleeding heart liberal and, all of that. I'm not. I'm just not, man. Some people don't like my hat, man. I have to start doing interviews without hats, man. Maybe that's why the YouTube channel don't get the views, because I wear hats. And I'm too old. I'm 40. How old? Man, it was my birthday the other day, right? How old am I? I'm 46. Wow. I'm getting old, man. Getting old, man. Am I too old for YouTube? Maybe I need to start doing a political show, right? Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Political Science. Yeah, okay. But, prison destroys people, man. ADX. You let Larry Hoover out of jail, it destroyed him mentally and emotionally. I don't care what anybody says. He probably just wants to go home, man, and eat a nice soul food meal, right? Love soul food, man. We got this place over here, man. That's where I've been eating at, man. Love soul food, brother. One of my favorite things, man. My boy Day Turner, man. Rochester, New York, man. If you're from Rochester, check out Day Turner on Facebook, man. Go look at the food that this man makes, man. It's phenomenal, man. Thomas said, put on a bandana, bro, and head to the sweat lodge, right? I'm just joking, man. And I'm doing these videos from my cell phone. I think the camera's 10 times better when I do them on my cell phone. I should have been doing them on the cell phone. But prison's real, man. How many dudes are in here and chicks, man? Even if you're a chick. I'm 55 and still wear fitted hats and jeans. Yeah, nothing wrong with just being normal, right? I got to look up the rule book that says, hey, man, if you're over 20, you can't wear a fitted hat. Or you can't wear jeans. I'll start doing some interviews. You want your boy in a suit and tie? You want your boy in a collared shirt? We can do it that way. What's the problem? We can do it that way. But yeah, man, prison mentally destroys people. Dudes, chicks. I mean, there's people in here struggling. Catrice, yes, ma'am. I almost got caught up in the lifestyle with a gang on the south side, but my brother saved me from his stepdad was big. And you know what? I should have did this already. I should have did this video on Mr. Beast, man. But I figured if I did a video on Mr. Beast, they'd probably block my channel. Who knows, man? Who knows? They might. They might not. Who knows? What's a fitted hat? That's the fitted hat, my boy. And then I have to wear a hat because my barber, I started going to a new barber recently. And he cut my shit all the way up here. Like, yo, bro, it's a little too high for your boy. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, Saturday morning, suit and ties are for court and weddings. I hear you, Greg. YouTube loves drama. That they do. YouTube does love drama. I got another big video coming out, man. I hope that I can complete it today for you guys. And hope you enjoy it. It's kind of like the Larry Hoover video we did the other day. And that's the other thing, like when we talk about YouTube and crazy things, like that video was monetized, right? Got 63,000 views. And then they come back and they say there's something that was mentioned at 38 seconds in the video that they took out, and now it's no longer monetized. Like, what? Like, what? You can't win for losing over here, man, when you blow it on a razor wire TV. You just, you're like, wow, man, and this stuff does cost money, man. I told you guys before, I paid my editor good. I got my other little guy. We're kicking this thing off in a couple days, September 1st, man. We'll probably have another channel for you guys to check out, man, that we'll probably do in the morning time. It'll be a lot of documentary stories, documentary, however you want to call it, but we're going to do that, man. It's going to be some, it's going to be some true crime stuff, and I hope you guys like that. What does monetize mean? It means that they pay you for your videos, the views that you get. Never go to the new barber, they always zeke you. I'm happy for you. I'm happy your brother saved you, my guy from the south side. Yes, sir. That's right, Catrice. Tell him. Chad, they took down my home blue channel down. He put a few self videos up that might have violated some censorship rules. Yeah, I don't know. What's the word? Any questions today, man, about prison, about what it's like to be locked in solitary confinement? I spent 14 months of my life in a cell all alone. Solitary. I knew how many bricks were there. I knew how many lines were in there. I started, putting a program together. You think that didn't destroy me mentally and emotionally? I'd wake up in the morning. I'd take the grits out of the tray and put them in a milk carton, right? Old milk, a used milk carton. That was my bowl. Because I knew at night my stomach would be touching my back. What's it like to go to bed hungry? Your stomach's touching your back. You're in a cell. You're in a special housing unit, man. You're all alone in a cell. I was in there for 14 months. So I'd wake up, eat the breakfast, work out. I had an extra mattress in there. That's when me and Jimmy, you guys remember Jimmy, right? NLR dude. He got out of prison, man. He was emotionally destroyed. Ends up getting hit while he's riding his skateboard, and he dies, man. Spent 20-something years in prison, and he admits on the channel that he was HIV positive, all of that stuff. He's riding his skateboard after doing all those years. And this dude was a vicious dude in prison. Make no mistakes. He was vicious. A lot of white dudes are vicious in there. They let Hoover out, they're going to kill Unc. I don't know if they're going to do that, but he'll definitely go somewhere else. We're going to talk about that thing in Philly, too, with that rapper, right? I know a lot of people are probably, I'm sure people did numerous videos on it. But, you know, Jimmy, man, he did all that time. He's mentally destroyed. He's going from halfway house to halfway house. They're kicking him out because he can't deal with society. He can't deal with reality, man. He wanted to get out of prison so bad all them years. But now he's out here. He can't deal with being free. And, you know, when I walked out of prison after 20 years, it's, 17 and a half, I walk out and think I got it all together, man. I don't got PTSD. I'm coming out here. I'm doing legal work. I'm putting up freedom fighters. I got the freedom fighters paralegal and prison consultant firm. Check us out. You might like what we're doing. You might need some help. Anyway, freedom fighters, pc.com. You can check us out over there. So anyway, long story short, I came out with a plan, right? And then my plan got sidetracked. My plan got derailed. Because obviously you guys know that, I ran into the chick that I was married to before. And we ended up having some kids and, we had 2 little twin boys, but my plan got diverted, man. And somewhere along the line, I lost myself. I thought I was chasing this old thing, man. And I lost myself, right? It's all the things I dreamed about in prison. But then when you look back on it, you're kind of like, wow. Because there was times when I said, man, this would never happen ever again. Never happen ever again. Like, there's no way it's even possible. And then it was possible. And then there was just a lot of pain there, man. A lot of emotional pain. A lot of struggle. I got to get right, man. I got to get right. And you know what, man? This is a tough time for me, but keeping it real with you, man. I've been through shit, man, that I never thought I'd make it out of. I've been through some shit that I never thought I'd make it out of. What's it like sitting in a cell for 14 months? My program, I get out, like I said, you eat, you put something in a milk carton so your stomach ain't touching your back at night, and it still is. Sometimes you eat with sandwiches, man. You save 2 pieces of bread. And then where you put it at, sometimes the crust gets hard. This is prison, man. This is real prison shit. The crust gets hard, but you still eat it because you're hungry. It's like you're eating a little bit of toast, right? You drink water to fill up your stomach. Some of the worst times I ever had in my life was at USP Pollock, man. Good morning, Sparky, man. I appreciate you, man. Glad to see you in here. One of the hardest times I ever had in my life, man, not just prison, but my life, was in Pollock. Man, they were killing us over there, man. Starving. I'm talking about, you're like, man, you weren't starving. People in other countries are starving. I'm talking about, man, the food was so bad you couldn't eat the shit, man. The portions were so small, you're like, damn, man. I shouldn't say so bad you couldn't eat it because you would eat it. And then on Christmas, they bring you this sandwich, man, with a 25-cent bag of chips. Like, remember them old Stewart barbecue rib sandwiches or a fish sandwich? Whatever they handed you through the slot, that's what you had. You had no commissary. You had no food to buy. Imagine going to bed like that, man. They give you this rib sandwich, man. I swear to God, you got to drink so much water that you can't even go to sleep because you're pissing all night because you're so hungry. You're alone, man. You're in this cell all alone like, damn, man, this is my life. And then you see people that come down there, you're like, damn, bro, dude just killed someone. That dude just stabbed that person. And we become desensitized to violence, right? I told myself the other day that, man, I'm getting tired of prison, man. My whole life is prison, right? I left prison, but maybe I didn't. It's all legal work. It's all YouTube videos. I'm always in prison. It's all violence. Watching this stuff on Twitter, right? You're always in this mind frame, but you're like, damn, man. You want to know the truth? I don't never want to go back to prison, man. Never. I don't never want to be back in prison. That's the truth, man. I don't ever want to be locked in a cell, waiting for the book carton to come through. Chris, I appreciate you, man. I'm praying for you too, bro. Man, it's like, sometimes I tell you guys, like last night, I don't know if you guys remember, I interviewed Jamie, man. He was how high, and I interviewed the other kid whose mom ended up getting killed. He's 27, 28 years old. He's in rough shape. His father just died in a bando a few months ago, froze to death at night. And I see them dudes at midnight. They're still out at midnight trying to make some money. You know why? Because they're dope sick. You want the truth? I gave them both $20 last night at midnight. That's my life, right? That's the life that I hate, right? The life that I wanted to leave, but sometimes I'm stuck there. Sometimes I'm stuck. I don't know why I drive through that neighborhood, because when I come home, I'm depressed. But these people are living to die, man. This is the street. I could go out there and do street interviews. I might start doing that again. I think I am. Big Mouse and Big Sandy. His brother was a South Sider, man. He's seen plenty of people killed in prison, I'm sure. Been involved in things. What's it like when you get stabbed, man? I remember when I got stabbed. I'm like, damn, man, I'm about to die. That's what I thought. I thought back to my boy Aaron Pike. I'm like, I'm about to die. These motherfuckers are about to kill me. They stabbed me in the back, almost hit me in the spine. But I'm like, man, you know what my thought was? This is how prison makes you so deranged. My thought was, I can't die without getting this dude back. I got to get him. He stabbed me, he starts running. I get him, I catch him. And then I think in a moment, like, damn, man, what about my appeal? And I throw the knife off to the side, right? I got his knife. I got his knife. James, I appreciate you. I got his knife. I threw it to the side. I didn't kill him. You want the truth? I could have killed this dude, man. I could have took his life, man. I'm on top of him. I got the knife. And he's just a little fella. Stabbed me in the back. I'm on top of him, and I'm like, yo. And I throw the knife because I think about my appeal. I still got some sense in me where I want to get out of jail. Some dudes go to prison, and this is their life, and they accept it. I told my boy last night, and my brother, man, I'm going to bring him on for another interview probably, right? I'm going to bring Booper on hopefully soon. I'm like, man, some dudes are just, you just go to prison. They give you life. You don't do no legal work. You don't try to get out. You just give up. You just sit in front of the movie TV. Chow time, you're like, and you walk over to go to chow. Chow time. It don't even matter that you got life, man. You don't even know. I got a dude right now, man, it's in prison. He's been in prison 20 years. And he's like, oh, clemency, there ain't no hope for clemency. They don't do that shit. I'm like, bro, they're talking about doing 20,000 clemencies right now. You've been in prison 30 years, 20 years. You're not even you're not even in tune to what's going on out here. You're not trying to get out of jail. You're not trying to get out of prison. Same thing in New York State prison, man. I went to prison with a bunch of young dudes. There's a dude I really want to bring on. Josh, Sean Glover, man. I want to bring this dude on. Had a murder beef. I think he had 37 and a half years to life or 33 and a half years to life. I played football with this dude, man, when we were kids in Pop Warner. Next thing I know, I'm in the county jail with him. I'm getting a 2 to 6. He's getting 37 years. Then I end up with him in Comstock, Great Meadow Correctional Facility. I'm in Comstock with him. And eventually I find out when I get out of prison that he ended up beating an appeal and he ended up getting out. And he's out here. I'm like, damn, bro, I'm glad that dude made it. I don't think his brother got out. His brother had 50 to life. But he got out. He's got a chance, man. Sometimes we get a chance, right? Sometimes we fuck the chance up too. But what I want to go back to is New York State prison. I've been around a bunch of young dudes, man. I've been around a bunch of young dudes that all they gave a fuck about was getting a pair of Air Force Ones, a pair of Uptowns. Back then, what we call them, Ups. They got a pair of Ups sent in. They got a pair of Tims, and they eat cereal, man. They love eating cereal, right? White dudes, black dudes. I've been in jail with a white dude had 25 to life, man. He didn't give a shit. He was from the hood. He had some Tims, never tied them, clunking down the hallway. He's working in the kitchen. He was happy. He was content. He had a TV in his cell. You give up, man. You got a TV in your cell, right? So you can sit in front of your TV, man. You can eat cereal and go on a visit with a pair of Tims on and a button-up shirt that you got from J.L. Marcus. That's your life, man? That's what your fucking life is? You don't want to get out of jail? You don't want to do anything to better yourself, man? This is it? You gave up? Movie TV? Yeah, I was out there getting big money, man. Now I'm running the ticket, right? They got a ticket in there for gambling, right? Dude's running the ticket for the ticket man. The ticket man's got all the money. You're making $15 today, $20 today, right? In stamps. So you go to the store, man, and buy you a bowl of rice, get you something to eat. This is your life. You used to get money. Now you ain't got shit. But this is your life. You accepted it. You got a 35-year sentence. You accepted it. You don't know nothing about clemency. You don't know nothing about writing President Biden and saying, hey, look, man, here's my form. Here's my story. I should have went to prison for sure, but I don't deserve 35 years. I don't deserve 35 years. I deserve a second chance. But you know what? I ain't been to no rehabilitation programs. I ain't done nothing to better myself for real, except for run the ticket for Jaquan. I'm running the ticket for Jaquan, but, you should let me out. Shit's crazy, man. It's crazy. Life, man. Life is real, right? Life is real. Prison is real. You hear a lot of these prison stories, and I said this before. People love them bang-up stories. Bang this, and kill that, and man, most of the people that live that life don't really want to live it. A lot of times, those are the motherfuckers that gave up. Those are the dudes that don't know nothing about clemency. And now you killed someone, and now you'll never get out. Snar, he's part of the Blood on the Razor Wire family, man. A lot of people that are here are part of the family. They've been here since the first day. His brother, man, They're trying, they're trying to put him to sleep, the death penalty, right? He's already got it. They're fighting for clemency to give him life. Dude's life is gone, man. Your whole life is gone. How about that video I did a couple weeks ago? And I put the pictures in there, right? And they didn't monetize it and they did all kinds of stuff to it. But I put those pictures in there with them stab wounds for a reason. People need to see that shit, man. That dude had a 20-year sentence. Gold in his mouth. Looks like he grew up in the hood. I think, where was he from? Louisiana? Now he gets to prison and he's part of this, he's part of whatever movement. He's part of a white movement, right? Dude's like, yo, man, dude's no good, homie. You don't even know this dude that's sending the word. You don't know the dude that you're about to take his life. And you had 20 years, man. I'll volunteer, bro. I got it, homie. I got you, bro, for the sake of the brothers. Damn, bro, now you're sitting in ADX with a life sentence. Now you ain't never getting out. You had 20 years. 20 times 3, you probably would have done about 16 years, man, been at the halfway house. Now you're going to be in the ADX for 16 years. Now you're going to be locked in a supermax prison for the rest of your life. Might be probably be ADX for 4 or 5 years, right? Then they move you out of the ADX, and then they send you back to USP Pollock. They send you to Victorville. They send you to Atwater. Most miserable existence you could ever have, man. Living in a maximum security prison. You don't know what's going to happen. You don't know when it's going to get locked down. You don't know when someone's going to think, like, you know what, man? I should stab this dude today. You don't know when some white dude's going to get in a beef with another white dude in a different unit, and now they're stabbing you in E unit. You didn't even know there was a beef over a TV or over a drug debt. You're taking a chance with your life. You're that dude, right? This is your life now, man. This is all you got. How would you like to be in a cell with that dude who has nothing to lose now? Shit, he had everything to lose and didn't care. He had 20 years. He's getting out. 16 years at the halfway house. 16 years is a long time. But you know what? You're going to get out of prison. You're going to be able to eat a pizza again, a real one. You're not going to have to go to bed hungry at night. You're going to have control of your life where you can get out, walk around, get a job, pay your bills, have a car, take a chick to the movies. You can do all of that. Go to a football game or be able to just lay down at night without people screaming and banging on the doors. I got a homeboy that's in a reentry house, a halfway house right now, right? And he calls me 10 o'clock at night. He's like, yo, bro, I got to go to work at 4 in the morning, right? I work construction, bro. Look at this. He hits the camera, switches it around. There's this dude in there. These are the dudes I hated these dudes in prison. I just got to keep it real. Like, I shouldn't use the word hate because hate's a strong word, but I really despise these dudes. He's in the middle of the bedroom. They got like 10 beds in there. And dude's like, nah, yo, listen, yo, that's my word. Like, you got no respect for this dude, man. And when I look at dudes like that who have no respect, these are the dudes that I say to myself, like, someone's going to kill this dude in the street. Or he's on his way back to prison before he ever got out, right? He's on his way back. This man is on his way back to prison because he don't have no respect. The prison system has changed. When I first went to prison, there was some respect. There was some common respect. I went in there with a 40-year sentence. There were times I thought I was never getting out of prison. And I was like, man, I was a dude who thought, man, I don't really care because I ain't never getting out. Yeah, I got down on myself, right? And now I have to reflect back on them things right now in the situation that I'm in. Like, I overcame that, man. I overcame 40 years in prison. I overcame sitting in a cell for 14 months. And there's been other times where I've been in the hole for 90 days, 120 days. Man, I don't give a shit if it's 2 weeks. It hurts. When you're all alone in a cell, that shit hurts, man. Some dudes don't want cellies, right? And I used to feel like, man, I want some peace, man. I don't want no cellie. And then you're like, damn, I need a cellie. I need someone to talk to. I'm in the hole for 14 months. Solitary confinement. And I think we talked about this when Jimmy was on the channel. They brought Jimmy to my cell, like, yo, bro, will you take a cellie? I'm like, man, I'm from New York, bro. Where's he from? He's from Cali. I'm like, nah, I ain't taking, nah. I knew who he was. Nah, I ain't taking that dude. Unless, bring me an extra Christmas bag. Remember I told you how hungry you are in the hole? I'm like, bring me an extra Christmas bag. I'm about to get this dude for a Christmas bag, right? Christmas bag. They used to be big ass bags. Then they went this way. Now they're like this big. Can you hear me?